What's going on, Kings? It's Keefe. You know, I'm sure we'd all love to live in the times when men were just a bunch of hairy savages with no etiquette and we belched whenever we wanted and all those good things. But unfortunately, those are not the times we live in. We live in the modern world. It feels like the future, but it is 2021. And in the modern world, there are certain things that men need to be good at in order to prosper. Some of these things are even things that I was avoiding doing for a long time, and I started to realize the ways they were holding me back from being the best version of myself as a man. And so I decided I was going to take action on it. And because I took action on it and started seeing new results, I wanted to share these with you so that you can also take your game to the next level and be the ultimate version of yourself as a man in the modern world. So in this video, what we're going to do is go over 4 things that every man needs to be good at in the modern world. Now, before we get started, be sure to hit the subscribe button and bell icon if you want to be the most high value version of yourself possible. Now, let's get into the video. So number 1 is getting your picture taken or posing in pictures. If you're like me, you always felt so awkward asking people to take pictures of you or taking pictures of yourself. And so because of that, you check your phone, you scroll through your pictures, your camera roll, and you find that you've got like one picture of yourself every 6 months. And it's this like awkward picture and the lighting sucks and your smile's weird and it just doesn't work, right? The bottom line is our society is so internet oriented and we spend so much time on social media that if you don't know how to take pictures, pose in pictures, and look good in pictures, you are really missing out. I mean, think about it from a girl's perspective. You know, if she's on Instagram or a dating app or something, really the only thing she's got to judge you off is pictures. So if the only pictures you've got are like an awkward family photo, a bathroom selfie, and some weird fish pic you took when you were a senior in high school, she's probably not going to be very interested. Learn to look good in pictures. You can actually just do what I did. You see, for so long, I felt so awkward about doing this. I really just thought people were always looking at me and all this stuff. And, you know, I just decided to quit making excuses about it, though. It was time. This was something I'd always wanted to get good at. It was something I felt like was important, but I was making excuses. So I quit doing that. I literally just went and watched YouTube videos on how to pose, like how to angle yourself in front of the camera, like things like that, what lighting's good, all these different kinds of things so that I could figure out how to do it. And it's so simple. You can do the same thing. Maybe someday I'll make an entire video on the subject, but for now, just a few simple tips for you to take with you from this video. Number 1 is to practice your posing in the mirror. Just practice your facial expressions. See which side of your jaw looks better, what kind of smile looks good, because we always get in front of the camera and don't we give that like awkward smile thing because it just doesn't feel natural. So practice beforehand so you get comfortable with it and you know what you're going to look like. Anything you've practiced, you're going to be more comfortable with. The second thing is to bend your limbs. So many guys, when they get in a picture, they're all like stiff like this and things like that. Like bend your limbs. Like let's say you're sitting on a chair, arm up here, something like that. Bend your knees. You know what I'm saying? Don't be so rigid. It just looks weird. And in fact, that leads into the third one, which is to take up more space. Okay. Like let's say you're sitting on a couch, arms up on the couch or one arm up on the couch. Don't be so closed off. It makes you look like you're uncomfortable. You want to be spread out. And for those of you who are kind of uncomfortable about this still, you're just like, yo, this is kind of awkward. I really don't want to go take pictures and all this kind of stuff. Hey, I get it. Like I said, this was something that I was really uncomfortable with. So what I did to overcome this was I literally just decided to go do it. Honestly, it's a big comfort zone breaker, which is, it has its benefits in and of itself as breaking out of your comfort zone. But I literally just went and started taking pictures. I decided I wasn't going to make these excuses. Why do I care what some random people think of me? Are they going to judge me? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? That's just stupid. So I really got that mentality in my head and I went out and took pictures. I actually took them in public places. In fact, this picture I'll put up here on the screen, I took a few days ago. I took those pictures in a pretty public area. Some people were walking by while I was taking the pictures. And to top it off, I was taking the pictures by myself. I had it on a tripod and I had this little clicker that was taking the picture. So I'm just sitting here in the park, people walking by, and I'm taking these pictures of myself. And like, you know what I figured out? Really wasn't a big deal. Nobody cared. And I realized, like, why do I care what these random people think of me anyways? And again, it'll be such a liberating moment for you to stop being so held back by this fear of people's judgment. I really recommend you go do it. Break out of your comfort zone. Number 2, public speaking. The future will be won by people who can captivate an audience through their speech. And now this is how things have always been, but in our modern world where people literally get all their information from the internet, from a voice on a camera, talking to them, right? Just like I'm doing right now. You know, you get your mentors usually off the internet. You get your advice off the internet. You get like literally every piece of information you need usually comes from a video of somebody who knows how to public speak. And the reason you're listening to them is because in some way they can grip you with the way they're talking. If they just talked like this and they were really boring, you wouldn't do it. But you like people who know how to public speak. They grip you. You'd be a fool not to at least be halfway decent at this skill. Whether it's social events, work meetings, interviews, social media, YouTube, whatever it is, if you want to be seen as attractive, as a leader, and as an authority, somebody who can get people's respect, you need to be good at public speaking. The other thing about this is your income potential goes through the roof if you can public speak. Like the only high-paying career I can really think of that doesn't require public speaking is like computer coding or something like that. And even that, like there's a cap to that, right? But if you're a salesperson, you go into somebody's house or you do a presentation somewhere, you gotta public speak and you gotta know how to do it. And if you're good at that, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're a YouTuber or a public speaker, you can make millions of dollars. If you want to be a politician and have an influence over the way people see the world, you gotta learn how to public speak. If you want to be an executive, a manager, whatever it is, you need to know how to public speak. It is so important in every aspect of life, and your earning potential goes through the roof when you're good at it. And look, this isn't just about knowing how to talk in front of people. This is about knowing actually how to speak well, okay? This is things like your tone of voice, your body language, all these kinds of things, getting into the nuances of charisma and the art of how to actually persuade people and be an effective communicator. The third thing is being effective. We need to be good at being effective because in our modern world, we're all bombarded constantly with information. And that information causes us to get all confused. We don't take action on the right things. We got a million different things coming at us from all directions, and we become ineffective. You might just have a lot to do, and it's all coming at you from different directions, so you're doing everything poorly or not at all. Or maybe you're on the internet and you've got a million different people trying to tell you how to live your life, and you're trying a little bit of this guy and a little bit of that guy and a little bit of this and this, and you're reading all these different books and trying to get all these pieces of information, and they're like contradictory advice, and so you're just going nowhere because you're trying everything at once. You're not being effective. Our modern world values effectiveness. We all know how to be busy. We like to look like we're busy. We're being really productive and all this stuff, but is all that busyness and productivity actually getting you a result? That's the big question. That's what effectiveness is. To this point, my highest watched YouTube video took me about 20 minutes to make. I've made videos that have taken several hours to put together and they were complete duds. Now, if we're judging everything based on the amount of effort I put into something, then the one that took several hours was probably the better YouTube video. But if we're judging it based off effectiveness, then the one that only took 20 minutes is the one that wins, because the goal of effectiveness is a result. What are we actually trying to accomplish? And effectiveness is about how do we get from point A to point B, not how do we pretend like we're working really hard. You see, there's a big confusion out there amongst a lot of people that think that effort and how much time and energy am I putting into something, that's what's actually where it matters. It's not true. It's literally about being effective. Do you get to the result? It really doesn't matter how long it takes. It's can you get the result? There's just this fallacy out there that thinks the more time you spend on something, the better it is, and it's just not true. It's all about effectiveness. Can you get the result? For example, let's say your goal is to get a girlfriend. And so what you do is you do the classic nice guy, beta male mistake, and you decide you're going to be her friend first, right? I'm going to be her friend for 2 years, and then I'm going to ask her to get into a relationship with me. And then she's promptly going to tell you, let's just be friends, because you tried to be her friend first, so it's not going to work, right? Meanwhile, this other guy walks up to her and he's like, hey, I think you're cute. Can I get your number? She gives him the number. They go on a date and they live happily ever after. And in 20 seconds, he did what you did for 2 years and didn't get a result on. So again, that shows you like the stark difference between effort and effectiveness. Do you want the result, or do you want to feel like you're doing a lot? Effectiveness is the key. Now, there's a great book I'm actually reading right now called The Effective Executive by Peter Drucker. This is a book that Tim Ferriss recommends, and I also recommend it myself. It was written in the 60s, and it's all about how to make effective decisions, how to take effective actions, make sure the things you are doing are actually producing a result. I highly recommend you check out the book if you want to make yourself more effective. And the fourth and final thing is social media. I used to be very opposed to social media, and I still don't use it that much, to be honest, but I've come to accept it like picture taking. It is just a part of this online world that we live in. Look, I'm not saying you gotta start a YouTube channel like me, or you gotta be an influencer on Instagram or whatever it is, but you might as well play the game. If you don't let social media consume you, it can have tremendous benefits on every aspect of your life as a man. Social media allows you to build new friendships, and it allows you to have opportunities with women that you never would have had the chance to meet. It allows you to have business opportunities and employment opportunities, and it allows you to put your best foot forward as far as the perception that people have of you. Guys, we're all human, and that means that we're vain. We judge people off appearances, and part of your appearance is your social media. The amount of times that I've heard somebody's name or a business's name and immediately gone to Instagram to try and check them out and learn more about them, it just shows you how much we treat social media like a representation of ourselves. So it's very important that you at least are halfway good at this, that you put forth the image that you want people to see of you. If you guys like this video, you want to check out this one right here, and be sure to give me a like and hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.